Alright, we're over here at the hive, and just going to show you here. I'm going to take the top off. Got no smoke, got no veil, anything of that nature. Sorry about that making you sick. Anyway, pop the top off here. Oh. Alright. See the pollen patty? See the feeder? Gotta fill it up, obviously. They're not crawling now like a bunch of cockroaches, so it's obviously empty. Anyway, pollen patty, sugar water. They ain't even come up into the top frame yet. They're still working the brood box down there. But when I first got the bees, I had a little chick waterer, and that's what I put the sugar water in. So I didn't want to change their environment, so I just left it, and I said, okay, I'll just put some frames in it, and then they'll get up there when they get up there. But they're working the inside the hive and all that jazz. They got a queen. And I'm going to set you down here, zoom you in. Okay, hopefully you can see them when they come in for pollen. I might be taking up a little bit more. That's about as far as you get. Let me move you a little bit more. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, so to start it off, like I said in previous videos, I'm not a new beekeeper. I got into bees in 1997. This is now 2019. I did not have bees when I was in the military, from 2004 to 2007. When I got out of the military in 2007, 2009, I think I got some bees. I got bees again in 2012. And here, 2019, I got bees now of my own. You know, I've helped friends with their bees and everything else. I mean, so as a new beekeeper, no, I'm not a new beekeeper. I have dispelled plenty of myths. See, there goes two workers there with pollen on their feet. I've dispelled plenty of myths as to moving them 2-3 feet each and every day. 2 feet or 2 miles because of their GPS, you know, resetting and all that jazz. It doesn't really matter. Same as, only go in your box once a week. I've been in this box every day. Every single day I've been in this box. Now, when I say go into your box, or I've been in a box, each time I have been in that box, I have helped the hive colony in the long run, i.e. hive beetle traps, you know, the little beetle barns. That was one day. The next day I'd come out and I'd put a half a strip of the quick away mite strips. The next day I'd come out, I'd put sugar water, the little chick waterer. The next day after that, I would put the frame feeder in. And then the next day after that, I would take the mite strip away. So I mean, you know, I'm setting them back, as in having them propolize all the cracks and all that jazz. I can do that in 2 minutes what it would take them 2 weeks to do. I duct tape around all the cracks. So when they say, oh, don't go in your hive but once a week, and oh, I couldn't wait till I got 7 hives so I can go in 1 hive each day, you know, to each his own. So I mean, just let that sink in. I mean, this is my only hive that I have thus far current to this video. There's still half of the colony down there in the house that I have the nuke up there. Oh, and that was another thing. Wherever you get your swarm from and bring it back to your location, don't put the same swarm box or what have you back at the swarm location, because the bees will swarm back to that location. That's untrue. Like I said, these little babies here has been here for going on a month. And when I first brought them here, I had them on the very small reducer, because it's only 3 frames of bees, that's all we got. And I wasn't sure if I had the queen or not, because I knew I killed the queen of the original colony. When I took the boards off doing the cutout, the comb collapsed on itself and drowned the queen. So they had to make another queen out of what brood that was in the hive. Anyway, it sat there for 3 weeks, a good month, because it was mid-April. It was mid-April, and I would say a month. It was a good month, because this is now June the 1st, and June the 1st, 2019. So the box sat there a good month, plenty enough time to make them a queen. There went another 2 bees with pollen. But we do have a queen. Done and showed that video. But like I said, I was just trying not to bash anyone or anything. It was just to dispel a few myths that have been abroad for ages. And I was just wanting to dispel that. And yes, I could make a video of each and every day showing, proving that you can go into your box every day and it doesn't hurt the bees. I mean, it may hurt them as in setting them back, but here's another thing. What I do today, I won't know until a month later, if that makes any sense, unless it's just so drastic that it's an overnight change. But things that I do today, I will not notice from the hive from a month and a half away. And that's where it pays to have a notebook and write down what you've done to each and every hive, and I mean every little detail, as in changed frame, fed them, done this, done that. I mean, you know, just say and write little things down that would register, because 2 months from now or 3 months from now, when something happens to your bees and you just write down, oh, I checked hive 1. Okay, well, what did you check? Did you pull frames? Did you checkerboard the frames? Did you change their feed? Did you put different foundation in? I mean, just that's what I mean by details. But I mean, that was pretty much it, you know. And they say, oh, move them 2 foot each, 2 to 3 feet each and every day until you get to your location, because it will reset their GPS. Okay, well, think about that. Just sit and think about that. If I can only move those bees 2 to 3 feet a day to let it reset their GPS, What do you think 300 feet, 500 feet will do? If they get lost within 2 to 5 feet, well, surely to goodness they're going to be lost in 300 feet. Now, when you get your bees from point A to point B, they will swarm around your box and just buzz around for 2 or 3 days to get orientated with their new surroundings. And placing your box in the shade or in the filtered sunlight or in the direct sunlight and having them face south, and that doesn't really matter. It may matter on shade, as in for hive beetles versus full sun, but the hive that the colony that those bees there came out of, their hive was facing north, and it was in 100% shade, and the bees have been there for at least 6 years. And I mean, they speak for themselves, and I am a firm believer the less you do with your bees, the better off your bees will be. And what I mean by that is, and it would contradict what I'm doing, as in being in the bees every day of the week. The less you fool with them, the better off they are. Just like in horses, the less you do, the more you do for them, if that makes any sense. But outside of that, you know, I've rambled on enough, and just going to let it run here for another minute or so, watching the bees work the hive. Like I said, you done seen the sugar water, you done seen the pollen patties. They say, oh, it makes them fat and lazy. No, it doesn't. Which I am a firm believer of, the less smoke and chemical that you use on your bees, the better off you will be, as in like the BB gone. You put some BB gone in your box, makes all the bees roll out, and so you can collect their honey, or you smoke the fire out of your bees so you can do this and do that. The less you do, just you know, yeah, have your veil or, you know, sting suit or whatever. I mean, you know, use your own judgment. But I can work these bees here, and they haven't been worked in 6 or 7 years, because they're furrow inside of a wall of a house. Well, I can do anything I want to with these bees, not use the first bit of smoke or have the first veil or anything of that on. But it is my stupidity, and it would be my fault if I did get stung. So I mean, you know, use common sense there. Like I said, I'm going to shut up and sit back and just let you watch the bees work. I just wanted to make that video to dispel some myths. And know these bees are no different than any other person's bees. And you say, well, I may see smoke coming across the screen. That's because I'm smoking a cigarette. And here's another little tip. have your bees at least 16 inches off the ground for the sole purpose of skunks and possum and raccoon. Mainly skunk. Skunk love bees. They'll come to your front of your box, scratch. They'll come out and inspect, and get snagged up. They got thick hair. Bees can't do much with them. Their only vulnerable spot would be their little belly. So when you got it 16 or more inches off the ground, the skunk will have to get up on his hind haunches and expose his belly. And the same way with a bear, which, you know, bear's just going to smack it and knock it over, but, you know, its only vulnerable spot would be its lips and nose. Same way with a dog. They can't do a lot with hair. But if the bees see a cat, a dog, or something like that, you know, they'll be more prone to sting it. And my chickens just walk around. They don't bother the chickens. And I've also heard, well, the white, color white, calms them down, keeps them calm. That may or may not be true, but I've been out here in solid black and red and white, checkers and blue, just all sorts of colors of clothing, and nothing's happened. Now, they do say that a bee does recognize your face. So when you swat a bee, it remembers that, and that's the reason it keeps buzzing around you. Well, this dude just try to smack me down, you know. I do believe that. I talk to my bees. Is that normal? That's normal for me to talk to them. But I believe, and I have a theory, that if they can recognize your face, they can recognize your voice as well. So just take that for what that's worth. Oh, and that just brought another, those bees just brought another thing to me. They say when a bee comes out and takes straight off, they don't have a queen. And then they say, well, when the bee comes out and just walks around on the landing and doesn't take off, they don't have a queen. Well, the video I did 3 or 4 days ago of this video here showing you that we have a queen, and a laying queen at that. So that may or may not be true. The way these bees here are acting makes that not to be true. But I know you can learn a lot of stuff by just watching your bees. Just sitting there and observing them. Now, I'm not saying you got to get down there right up in front of the hive and look and all that, although I can do that. Even take my finger and stick up in the front entrance if I want to. I mean, as long as you don't squash a bee, smash a bee, he has no reason to sting you. Other than, okay, you're turning into his home, invading his home, then yeah, okay. But for the most part, that's how God created them. So, I mean, you know, because I don't know. I mean, people are trying to make stuff too hard. And just to show you that you can get down in front of your bees and stick your finger in the hole, I'm going to do it. I mean, it does nothing. Go right up in there. Look up in there. Take your finger. Stick up in here. I don't know if you can see that or not. That's as far as I can get my finger. But just look up in there. I mean, I don't know. See, there goes another one with pollen on her legs. But just take that for what it's worth. I mean, just let the bee be the bee. But thank you for watching. Have a great day.